I'll ask you, considering you seem to like the format, what do you like about the format, and why should
Yeah.
it stay the same?
So, I mean, I saw the quote from Max about how it ruins the magical moment of waking up on a Sunday and watching the Grand Prix and getting surprised by which car's the fastest. First of all, are we watching the same sport, Max? I mean, it it's pretty apparent what's happening, you know? I mean, we all kind of know relatively what's going to happen anyway. Um, save for a few surprises here and there, but I do like how on Saturday you get two sessions to look forward to. Friday you get a session to look forward to. It's not just practice. And I know this is a flip flop on from what I said the last time we talked about format changes and all that stuff, and how the reason why we made this format change was because we wanted to give the fans more pushing sessions for you to watch, right? And I was like, well, I mean, kind of. If you're a real fan of the sport, you're gonna just like the practices anyway,
Yeah.
you know. But I've been pleasantly surprised in that Friday I've got a qualifying to watch for the Grand Prix on Sunday. Saturday afternoon or morning or whatever, we'll have something going on for we'll have a qualifying for the sprint and then a sprint race. It's it's 3 days of actual like on track pushing, going for it sessions, and I kind of like it. I kind of
Yeah,
like it.
I mean, I've heard people like Martin Brundle say the same thing. This is much better than a practice session. And yeah, of course, any kind of meaningful session is going to be. My one issue is I don't like qualifying being on a Friday, particularly for the Grand Prix, because people still work. Like, it's harder to watch a competitive session that means something to the championship if you're busy. Like, that's why this sport takes place at a fucking weekend.
That's fair. Yeah.
So, like, that from a purely logistical point of view, I don't like that. But secondly, I hate the second qualifying. For me, it's completely pointless. It doesn't do anything. The only thing that ever spices it up is if the conditions are different from one qualifying to the other. I would much rather. I feel like I've said this a million times. What's one of the support series for Formula One? Formula Two. Use their fucking format. It's perfect. Like, you have qualifying, then you reverse the results of that qualifying by top 8 if you want a reverse grid. I know the teams are reluctant because no one likes fun. But then, like, you use that one qualifying to determine both grids. Yeah, Carlos Sainz said he wanted an entire separate championship for the sprint races. I don't mind that idea.
That would be a cool idea. And
because the problem was when they first brought in the sprint races, that they made it too dependent on what would then happen in Sunday's race, and so many teams were then sandbagging or being careful to prioritize the main race. So I like the fact that they've completely separated it now, but qualifying I think can still be kind of linked. Like,
so what about this? Two practice sessions
could
on a
just
Friday.
Have one. Well, all right, but very brief aside for practices. Session 1 should be for rookies and reserve drivers. Session 2 should be for the Grand Prix.
Fair, yeah.
Because there's already we've already seen with drivers who are coming into Formula One in the last few years, they struggle so much with lack of preparation. So if you give them a full season of practices,
yeah, no, I like that. Yeah, session 1 on Friday is for reserve drivers and rookies. Session 2 is whoever's going to be racing in the Grand Prix. Saturday, you have a qualifying for the Grand Prix on Sunday.
Yep.
Right? And then after qualifying, you have like 4 or 5 hour gap, and then you do a sprint race. And the order of the sprint race is reverse championship points order.